Milblogger. For the latest news and conflicts around the world, shaping your reality.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of West Coast Milblogger. I'm your host, Cyrus Emerson. From A to Z is happy to announce his new music video, Halloween Chill Lo-Fi, has gotten more than 1,000 views on YouTube. The company's previous high for views was 673 for the environmental advocacy short story Franz Joseph Land, highlighting Russia's role in the climate crisis. Next week, make sure to watch Haunted Autumn of 1958, written for the MGA I inherited, that's since been upgraded to a Jaguar. The story also ties into bridge crash scenes from Icona Pop's I Love It and the film Vanilla Sky. Plus, Steam Blog fan favorite band Tortillas de Pelo makes an appearance that drops the day before Halloween to promote Star Wars fan film, complete short film, dropping on Patreon October 31st. Now our AI correspondents report on Israeli airstrike, South Korea blessing, and World Series endorsement 2024.
Israeli airstrike. Let's share what we know so far about Israel's attack on Iran and the impact in the region moving forward. More than 100 fighter jets flew from Israel to drop bombs on military sites in Iran. Most of these targets included ammunition depots. While Iran claims air defenses held up against the onslaught, Western media claims a crippling attack. It's important to remember that this is only a regional war. While there are similarities to the war in Ukraine, with actors starring in both theaters, they are in fact two different media packages for different audiences in different markets. This is not Armageddon from the Bible. That said, attacks on ammunition supplies in Iran, if they were successful, helps to limit the capabilities of the Ayatollah to respond in this tit-for-tat. Logic allows for calculation that Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, and Houthi rebels will exhaust their lethal force capabilities until resorting to suicide vests again. In a Western style, Israel has tried to limit civilian casualties when given the opportunity with precision weapons in a rural environment. This is the extension of good intelligence combined with satellites. Iran can only respond in kind with dumb weapons unable to prevent resupply to Israel by the military-industrial complex itself. However, just like in Russia, Iran's media says the attacks caused minimal damage. Even Nigerian politician Adamu Garba II is putting his presidential hopes on this claim.
South Korea blessing. Explain why South Korea is the blessing the international community needs in these dark times. War in Ukraine gets the attention of the world as the premier battle of good versus evil. Unlike the regional conflict in the Middle East, where technology remains limited without Western support and nuclear arsenals are one-sided, Russia can be described as a peer rival. Even as its status diminishes, with the Chinese dragon flying above, the Russian bear looks for shelter in a burnt forest. While China commits itself as a friend to Russia, no matter the extent of global chaos in this current World War III environment, the giant panda plays by the rules of international commerce. Banks in China pull out of financial deals involving Russian shell companies trying to import weapons around sanctions. Russia also suffers from a manpower shortage in an unpopular war. There are no demonstrations like the U.S. experienced during Vietnam, yet the depression of the population combined with corruption have the effect of corrosion on the state no protest could match. Enter North Korea with nuclear weapons. While West Coast Milblogger was one of the first to report on this escalation in Ukraine, it's since been downgraded to a wait-and-see posture. Defense Press Secretary John Kirby states U.S. intelligence doesn't know what North Korea's mission is going to be in Ukraine. For now, 10,000 troops are seen taking photos in black leather coats in Red Square. The Russians are losing more than 1,200 soldiers a day. In this meat grinder, North Korea's division might last less than 10 days at the current burn rate. Yet this move has created a situation for South Korea to be the blessing. This non-NATO nation without nuclear weapons has a strong arms industry for advanced weapon systems. They're now free to join in European combat with highly trained pilots in the skies their counterparts lack. Koreans killing Koreans keeps this dirty war clean, keeping Russians from threatening nuclear war.
World Series endorsement 2024. tell us about the connection between presidential elections and the Fall Classic. Right now, the Los Angeles Dodgers are winning the World Series against the New York Yankees 2-0. These are the two largest media markets in the United States. Los Angeles hosts the movie and music industries. New York manages television and news. Even the West Coast Milblogger must look to Los Angeles for guidance as the capital of the coastline. Yet when it comes to this year's presidential election, WCM has more of a reason not to endorse a candidate than the LA Times. WCM, a podcast produced by From A to Z, a company founded on using hemp as a solution to climate change, finds this message lacking in the current candidates. While Trump federally legalized hemp, he destroyed its economic benefits. Now, siding with the marijuana industry in Florida against Governor DeSantis and his support for hemp CBD products unauthorized by the FDA, even as vaccines were approved at warp speed. Yes, that's right, Vice President Harris isn't even in the conversation. However, she has gained the support of the New York Times. This doesn't surprise many who see it more as routine, even though Trump Tower is a stone's throw away from the set of Saturday Night Live. To recap, the Los Angeles Dodgers don't support a presidential candidate while the New York Yankees support Kamala Harris. This nullifies an opportunity to make a prediction based on the outcome of the World Series. In the end, WCM would like to see world peace in both the Ukraine and Israel theaters of war. Peace creates conditions beneficial to solving climate change with hemp, as humanity accomplishes the goal of colonizing our solar system.
From A to Z merch.
Remember to check out From A to Z merchandise online, where you can support the show through the purchase of a polo shirt like the one I'm wearing. We also have a new Z-Dad phone case for sale in the store that works for iPhone 16. The company is donating a portion of proceeds to hurricane victims in Florida through Zhu Chi, a Taiwanese Buddhist foundation pledging to match your generosity up to $1 million. That's from now until November 14th. We hope you enjoyed this episode of West Coast Milblogger. Remember to subscribe, like, and share on the many platforms the show is now available on. Keep it safe out there, and see you next week.